This programme is dedicated to the memory of Thomas Maguire, who so tragically lost his life in this event. Our thoughts and sympathies are with his family and friends.
This week, the Citroën Irish Tarmac Rally Championship moves to the wondrous sun-baked northwest and into the second half of the 6-event season. Gareth McHale, Derek McGarity and Dennis Cronin have all sprayed the bubbly this season. But it's the young guns who are hitting the headlines. With just 7 points separating the championship leader, Alistair Fisher, who drives a Group N car, from his 3 pursuers. The hills of Donegal, however, are likely to be world rally car country, and amongst the innovations for the capacity entry in the 2010 event is the Buncrana town stage on the shores of Lough Swilly. Yes, Ireland is taking us this week to that rally-crazy county that annually embraces the series with open arms. We're in the rugged northwest for the Topaz Donegal International Rally. This is the most northern part of the island and arguably one of the most beautiful. Here the Atlantic Ocean pounds the shores, making Donegal a mecca for the wave riders and the hill walkers. But it's the rally world that migrates to the hills in mid-June, making the rally the biggest single tourist attraction in the region. Letterkenny's Anne Theatre is filled to capacity for the driver's briefing, while outside, the fans gather to see off the capacity entry of almost 200 crews, the majority of whom are from their own county. Gareth McHale followed in his father's footsteps by winning the Donegal International in 2009. The young Dubliner and his experienced co-driver Brian Murphy are the #1 seeds and hot favourites in their 06 Ford Focus WRC.
The winner returns, Gareth.
Yeah, delighted to be back here now. Stage is really all the same as last year. The weather's fantastic. I think it's going to be. I think every hotel in the Letterkenny is booked out, so it's going to be a great weekend.
Now this is the longest and toughest of them all.
Yeah, I think it's the pinnacle rally in Ireland. It's 3 days good competition. The stages are unbelievable, real challenging stages. The organisation of the event is top class, and I think fair play to Donegal Motor Club and running a town stage this weekend. I think they're raising the bar again.
It's looking like a Ford Subaru shootout, but the top Impreza driver has had no luck recently.
Tim, did you run over a nun or something? Where do you get this bad luck?
I don't know, but there's nothing you can do when you pick yourself up and go to the next round.
Donegal is one you haven't won.
Yeah, I've been second here before. I love Donegal. It is the pinnacle of the Tarmac Championship. 3-day event, one of the toughest in the calendar, and absolutely would give anything to have it on the mantelpiece.
We sincerely wish you good luck.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
The World Rally cars will have the pace, but who will have the points after 3 days of action?
The leader of the Tarmac Championship, how does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good at the minute. Hopefully we can hold on to it this weekend. It's going to be a very tough rally. It's 3 hard days, so see how it goes.
Well, I don't need to remind you that the name Fisher and big results on the Donegal International are pretty well synonymous.
Yeah, hopefully I can live up to it. It's a big ask, I think, to do anything against the World Rally cars here this weekend, but if we keep our heads, and you never know where we'll be at the finish.
Fisher may be the points leader, but that's not the whole story.
Craig, if you were to take drop scores into account, you would actually be leading the championship.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, it's been a relatively good year. We had a bad accident in the Circuit of Ireland, and that really blotted our copybook, but Killarney was very kind to us, and I think Alistair was even kinder. Unfortunately, he had a bit of an off in the last stage, and he dropped back and gave us a good haul of points.
Keith Cronin's entry is a real bonus.
The Evo 10 was a bit slow in development. Now it seems to be right on the pace.
Yeah, it's going well in the British Championship at the moment, and out abroad as well. There hasn't been a lot of Evo 10 action in the Irish Tarmac Championship yet. This is to deal with the bumpy roads, but we felt we've done a good setup, so we'll just have to see how it goes.
Steady as she goes is really paying off for Gareth McHale, just a point behind Fisher.
Yeah, it's gone well so far. I didn't expect to be in this position in Donegal. I'd probably planned that this is my last rally, so hopefully it goes well this weekend. I suppose you have to think points as well, but I'm going to give it a good lash over the weekend.
Gareth O'Riordan has moved up to World Rally Car Power this season, and to great effect. He'll be one to watch.
Day one takes us into the Inishowen Peninsula and way north to the edge of the world, with the Cool Cross and the magnificent Malin stages to be tackled twice. The rally is celebrating its 40th birthday in 2010, and these are the sunny days that the veteran rally fans remember from the event's beginnings as the Rally of the Rosses. So it's time to slap on the sun cream, as in the distance Gareth McHale's high-speed projectile approaches out of the heat haze from the Malin headland, Ireland's most northerly point. The Galway International winner has been 1.6 seconds faster over the opening Cool Cross test, and here at the midpoint of Malin 1 he is ahead again. The focus flashes past the pub at Ballygorman and then skirts the Atlantic shore. He has chosen a hard tyre, but Gareth is not happy with the suspension settings, which he deems to be too stiff, and he has hurt his back in a compression dip. Still, he will have a 2.8 seconds lead over this pair after the first two stages. Tim McNulty and Paul Kiley look frighteningly fast in their McKeon-prepared S12B Impreza. Tim will get a little over-exuberant on the Malin hairpins, but the first two are already half a minute ahead of their followers. Aaron McHale and Eugene O'Donnell are next on the road, but back in 6th place, and Aaron is already 45 seconds down on his brother. Then comes the first of the production car runners in 7th place. Alistair Fisher has been guided by the very experienced Rory Kennedy. Super 2000s, however, run in the Group N category, so Craig Bream and Gareth Roberts lead the Group N men, splitting the World Rally Car entry in an impressive 4th place and using all the road at the Malin hairpins. Dara O'Riordan and Tony McDade are 5 seconds ahead of them in 3rd place after the opening loop. Again, the Cork-based WRC novice impresses. PJ McDermott and Paul Goodman are having intercom problems, however they're the top local in 8th. Keith Cronin has been the Stage 1 star. Despite a big moment, he was 3rd fastest in the JRM Lancer, 9 seconds faster than Fisher. But here, Seamus Leonard's Impreza is on his tail.
Trying to get pulled in. 200 of a bunch.
The Mitsubishi has fuel pump problems and it'll drop 4 minutes. Leonard speeds past into 5th.
1-5 right continues 40. That's the right at the pull across the field. You do. That's the left 40 over dip. 1-3 left continues over cross 100.
Johnny Greer, who leads the British Rally Championship, has decided to have a weekend at home to gain tarmac experience. And Damien Tourish is back on his home stages after a long layoff. The Donegal driver is wisely taking time to play himself in.
100.
Another local, Danny McBride, has Carl McBride in the notes. And they get pretty busy through the Cool Cross stage.
And to 4 left. 4 right. 4 right. Tightens to 4 left. 6 right. Sudden. 60. 5 right, long.
The JB Holmes Mitsubishi has a problem with the Lancer's rear differential. And that diff has given them some nasty moments on the fast downhill section into Ballygorman village.
To 2 right, 80. Oh, 3 left, long, and 6.
2 stages down, and it's a 2.8 second lead for Gareth McHale. And he's happy with his progress.
So far we've been fast on the first 3 stages there now, so yeah, things are going well. Touch with everyone keeps together. I think just the game plan now is just keep pushing and keep the concentration up.
But McNulty has lost time leaving service and may have penalties.
You've been having a problem, I hear.
Yeah, gearbox problems in service, Plum, but hopefully we had a bit of problems on the last stage with it as well, so hopefully now we get it solved.
What is happening to these gearboxes, Tim?
I don't know what it is. Drive you around the bend.
Dara O'Riordan will drop a place to Leonard during the afternoon.
You're the new boy in the World Rally Brigade. Are you enjoying it?
It's good fun. Takes a bit of getting used to the car, but yeah, we're learning. Every rally we do, we learn a bit more, so we'll keep trying. And
it's another giant killing performance from Craig Breen, who kicks the Super 2000 Fiesta past McNulty's troubled Subaru into second after stage 3.
Settled into a really good rhythm on the first stage and set a reasonable time, and we've improved from there. We took a good bit of time with Alistair on that last stage, and everything's starting to click now, so looking forward to getting to go at a really good stage now and see what happens.
Seamus Leonard, although now third, is not having a trouble-free run. The gearbox jammed at the start of the stage, Cool Cross 2, and they've had to reboot it. And they also had a puncture in the first Malin stage. But now they're approaching the place where Seamus had the mother and father of all escapes last year.
It's the middle of a big jump. 200 of the bumps and jumps.
This time they survive without drama, and they're in hot pursuit of O'Riordan. But before the start of Malin 2, there's more trouble. Seamus is on the mobile to Kenny McKinstry.
Yeah, I have a problem. I had a gear problem the last stage, and now we have a misfire this stage, or a half a cylinder. I'll have to try it.
Aaron McHale has moved up to 5th, but he will drop a place again and fall behind the recovering McNulty. Alistair Fisher, who's been fit to match and on occasions beat the WRC cars on wet and tighter stages, has to be patient and be content with 7th in the meanwhile. Danny McBride has had a broken differential repaired in service, but on Malin 2, his worries return.
There's something not right. One left.
He soon learns that his fears are correct.
Then you know something wrong. The wheel come off. Aye. Up. The wheel was loose. I knew it.
Jason Black captures their incident. So after 4 stages, Gareth McHale has a commanding lead and Tim McNulty a lot of work to do. Conor Harvey is the early leader amongst the two-wheel drive runners, but the local, who went so well here last year, doesn't make it beyond the first 2 stages. Robert Barrable inherits the two-wheel drive lead. He also leads the Citroën Racing Trophy and is 11th overall amongst the homologated cars. Late entry Mark Donnelly lies 3rd amongst the Citroën C2 R2s, and local man Adrian McElhinney, last year's champion, hits early trouble. Shane Buckley is the 2nd fastest in the dash for the cash amongst the Citroëns. Mark Sheehan, Mr. Binman, is 4th amongst the Racing Trophy entrants, and Tommy Doyle is 2nd fastest two-wheel drive behind Robert Barrable. Tony Kelly lies 2nd in the class to Tommy, driving her right price Honda Civic at a right pace. Here, the young Letterkenny lady is in full flight as she disposes of a Fiesta competitor on the Malin stage.
84 left tightens. 4 left tightens. 80 middle of request, here 40 middle of request. 45 left down, 63 left long.
The Buncrana Speed Party. After a gap of almost 30 years, the sound of racing engines has returned to the resort town on the shores of Lough Swilly, which is also known as Porthas Erin, Ireland's paradise. And it seems like that to the 10,000 fans who've turned up in the June sunshine to see the Buncrana stage go live. This is bringing rallying to the people, and undoubtedly a whole host of new people to rallying. Leader Gareth McHale blasts his WRC Focus into Crana Road.
I'd say it's brilliant to get into a town stage. I think there's about 20 or 30,000 people. So it's a great atmosphere and really enjoying the day so far.
Cheeky little Super 2000 Fiesta will finish the day less than a minute behind the World Rally car as Craig Breen goes into showbiz mode on the streets of Buncrana.
And great for the spectators, it's great for the sport to be able to bring it to the spectators in a safe environment. So yeah, good fun, tight and twisty, and very easy to make a mistake. You can lose rally very easy there, but not win it. So it's good fun.
Tim McNulty is back up to 3rd, and he's fastest in Buncrana. But the CFS Subaru is now over a minute behind the leader.
And this is what rally needs, to bring it to the public and let people that normally wouldn't go and see a rally what it's all about. And
Dara O'Riordan is 4th, just 3 seconds behind McNulty, and coming under pressure from Seamus Leonard. But the electrics are still hampering the Tyrone driver's progress. When the Impreza is running clean, Seamus is fast as he and John McCafferty take us on a street race.
6 left. 3 right out of it.
Aaron McHale is 6th in the Excavate WRC Focus, and under 10 seconds behind Leonard. Then it's the first of the proper Group N cars, Alistair Fisher.
Right empty, clear, right, clear, square right.
The McBride brothers, now with little to lose, have a real cut through the streets.
Out again, just watch this. You know what I mean? Don't hit the f***ing ball. Onto a long 4 left.
Gareth McHale may lead, but look at Craig Green's astonishing second place in the Super 2000. He's had a super first day.
The sun continues to shine as we move west into the Fannet Peninsula for day 2. In the morning, it's the Cornhill and Fannet stages, and after lunch, Knockalla and Garrygort. There's no change up front, but Gareth has not been the fastest driver on the opening 2 tests of the second day. That honour has gone to Tim McNulty. But he doesn't need to be, with a 1-minute gap, and his co-driver Brian Murphy, who you can bet your sweet life is keeping a pretty close eye on that gap.
I think down the last 4 stages there's been something like 3 or 4 seconds between myself and Tim on stage times. Yeah, it's been good. Okay, we're just controlling, we're keeping it at the minute there. We're driving maybe about 9.5 tenths. Everything is going well now and looking forward to the next stage here.
Craig Breen loses second place to Tim McNulty in Cornhill. He's been complaining about the Fiesta's handling this morning, and on Fannet 1 it's disaster for the young charger.
Okay, no.
The boys are okay, but the Fiesta is wrecked. So out go Craig and Gareth Roberts, and out go their Tarmac Championship hopes. Tim McNulty and Paul Kiley's championship hopes have departed earlier in the year, but at least the Subaru is now back in full song.
We're really looking forward to Knockalla now, and I know Garrygort now is cancelled, I think, but no, absolutely, me that knows it better than anyone else, this rally is far from over.
Dara O'Riordan stopped at the Breen accident to see if everything was okay, and he is likely to be compensated for his time loss. But this overshoot in Cornhill 2 has dropped the Cork driver right back for the time being. On board with Leonard, we catch Dara recovering from his overshoot. But Seamus is having a really troublesome rally. The McKinstry mechanics changed the ailing gearbox in record time, but they can't find the misfire. After stage 9 they're third, but on Fannet 2 they dropped to fourth, as the Impreza will just not run cleanly at the stage starts.
Still in problems and going backwards plumps away am. We've got a serious bad misfire and it takes for ages when on the stage to clear it. And I'm like a stalled her on Fannet and lost 10 to 13 seconds alone on it. So we've dropped from third now, I think, to fifth.
Aaron McHale has benefited from Leonard's misfire and misfortune and moved into third place. Now, I don't need to remind you what's ahead.
Yeah, Knockalla, I haven't done it now for about 5 years, so but I was up spectating the last few years, so I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully it goes well.
Watch that second corner, your father will remind you of that.
And someone said to me, have you got your father's corners marked? I said, which one?
Alistair Fisher and Rory Kennedy soldier on in 5th, leading Group N and heading towards good points. PJ McDermott heads the local entry in 6th place. And another local, Damien Tourish, is 8th overall and 2nd in Group N, despite missing 3rd gear. Johnny Greer had been 2nd, but he lost a lot of time when he hit a bank close to where Breen crashed. For Danny and Carl McBride, it's now just a fun run.
The 6 right drop outside.
They race past Shanna Lock here on the Fannet stage.
6 right, 40, 2 left and 5 right, don't cut, oh no, don't cut. And 2 left, and the very fast don't cut, 3 right, 200.
We didn't realise the significance of the results until later in the day, but after 10 stages, Gareth McHale led by over a minute. Amongst the two-wheel drive runners, Robert Barrable and Damien Connolly were the overnight leaders, but Tommy Doyle and Liam Moynihan were closing in their Super 1600 Renault. Mark Donnelly was 2nd in the Citroën Racing Trophy. Shane Buckley and Thomas Maguire slipped to 3rd amongst the C2R2 Citroëns. Mark Sheehan and Anthony O'Connell had been 4th in the Racing Trophy but retired on Fannet 1, promoting Desi Henry and John Rowan. Next up among the Citroëns, local crew Joseph McGonigal and Neil Burns. Tony Kelly and Joe Hunter were another crew not to make it out of the Fannet stage, so Barrable was declared the Citroën Racing Trophy winner at the end of the shortened event. And Tommy Doyle managed to overtake the Citroën crew to win Class 4 and become fastest two-wheel drive crew.
The national runners provide the tail-out entertainment over the classic Donegal test. Indeed, the Donegal International Rally has now really become the highlight of the modified runners' year, with so many modified cars competing in this international event. At the Friday start, a previous modified winner, Wesley Patterson, is the first on the ramp at number 17. It's a very welcome return.
Yes, glad to be back out again. Looking forward to it.
Now, we'll be watching the Mark IIs, but you'll be watching that man behind you, Mr. Bogie.
Yeah, it'll definitely be very quick. There's no doubt about that. A wee bit of suspect whether the car can make it to the finish or not, but if it does, like, he shouldn't be far away.
Young Scot David Bogie has brought his Metro 6R4 to Donegal for the third time. Third time lucky, perhaps.
Yeah, that's the plan, to get to the finish. You know, awesome event, hell of a competition, but you know, really looking forward to it. So hopefully we'll get to the end this year.
Now, you drive many cars, but you keep coming back here with this Metro.
It's great. You know, it's just so hard to beat, hard to drive, fast, sounds well, just great car.
Manus Kelly is the top local seed.
Yeah, this here's the ultimate one, and they're from the quickest modified cars in the country here this week. Right from Cork right through the whole country, and this is where it's going to sort the men from the boys.
Welshman Phil Collins is a multiple Donegal national winner in his special Mark II Escort.
I didn't come last year. We were lucky enough to win it in 06 and 07 and 08. This year it'll be a mighty challenge, and undoubtedly the Metro and all these local guys. It'll be a fantastic entry. Really looking forward to it.
Gary McPhillips is another driver to have shown well in Donegal.
It's going to be great, especially now we were blessed with the good weather, so hopefully it'll be a good pace.
Do you get nervous at this stage?
Yeah, you do be nervous, yeah. You know, just be looking forward to getting once you get the fourth stage over, you'll settle in okay.
Songwriter Phil Coulter flags off Rodney Wilton. Donegal always attracts the legends, and Phil is joined for the 40th anniversary by Mr. Minnie, the great Paddy Hopcock. Phil, thumbs up for Donegal, eh?
It's just brilliant to be back, Plum, after I don't know how many years. But you know, the machinery has changed, the organisation is much more professional, but the spirit is exactly the same.
Of course, you did this event. You actually took part in this event.
I did. Some years ago, I did it 2 or 3 years, and what I remember most of all the rallies that I did, this was the best crack.
Already last night, we had a wonderful dinner reminiscing, and it's just great to see the enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm knows no bounds for rallying in Donegal as Damien Gallagher rolls off the ramp.
The crowds on Malin Head are enjoying the weather and about to enjoy the sideways antics of the most powerful two-wheel drive rally cars in Ireland. First on the stages is the 2.5 Millington Escort of Wesley Patterson and Martin McGarity, but they're a little off the pace, a leaking exhaust manifold not helping, and they're back in 9th. David Bogie climbs from 4th to 3rd after this Malin Head test, the Metro sounding mighty. Leaping towards the end of Malin, Manus Kelly and Donald Barrett were second fastest on the opening Cool Cross stage, but there are worrying transmission noises coming from the Black Escort. However, after this second test, they're second place, 20.5 seconds off the National Rally lead. Phil Collins, a 3-time Donegal National winner, is going well. But at this early stage, he's 6th, 33 seconds off the lead as the pace on the National Rally is frantic. Gary McPhillips is just half a second in front of Phil in 5th and eager to get to service to change his gearbox. Monaghan man, still spectacular. One of his big rivals is Cavan's Rodney Wilton in his Mountune engined Escort. Rodney and co-driver Conor McMahon are just half a second ahead of Gary in 4th. However, no one has come close to the early performance of Daniel McKenna and Andrew Greenan. Their time is good enough for 3rd overall fastest in the rally on the Malin stage. And after 2 tests, a 20.5 second lead in this company is impressive. Glenty's Per Declan and Brian Boyle are lying 12th at this point, and really warming up in their 2.4 Escort. Camillus Bradley is another to start steadily in 8th. The Draperstown driver is feeling a little unwell today. Not what you want when you've 330 horsepower to control under your right foot.
Right long. Watch. Okay.
Eugene Ferry and Derek Hina don't get a complete run through stage 1, coming across Damien Gallagher's crashed Escort. Fortunately, Damien and co-driver Paul Gary are okay. Eugene always loves his home international.
Cut to a flat 2 left, a crest and a flat 1 right, down to a 3 left long. 3 left long here, don't cut, and another 3 left.
He lies 15th
here,
at this
5 left
point,
at the lane,
and
and
set to climb much higher. Martin McGee recently rebuilt his Mark II Escort after a 2009 season plagued by accidents. The last one, a big one on this event last year.
Into tight 4 left minus, over cut. Repeat, tight 4
Now
left
it's a matter
minus,
of
over
rebuilding the confidence, speed and experience. This little mistake on Malin cost some time. He loses little in a swift recovery. Conor Curley and Nigel Fraser have made a very good start in 10th place at this early stage. Whilst Oma's Paul Barrett has joined the Mark II Brigade and lies 11th. Donegal's John O'Donnell, however, is up to 7th. Adrian Hetherington is 13th, 42 seconds off the lead, as the glorious weather enhances the glorious backdrops on Malin. The modified masters slide towards the second loop of day 1 stages. Daniel McKenna's time here on Cool Cross is good enough for 5th fastest overall, and he'll open up his lead to 40 seconds in this loop, despite serious alternator troubles before the second Malin test.
We were just coming in the road section and we heard the fan bell squealing, so we just pulled in here and we noticed that the bolt broken on the alternator bracket, which is they're renowned for breaking alternator brackets, so we had a spare bolt, so we're just going to fix it here now. It should be okay. Should be okay. Sorry, no. Is it not going to touch now?
Gary McPhillips and Paul Sheridan now with a full selection of gears climb up to second, and they are second fastest to McKenna on the Cool Cross stage. But Gary's position is very fragile, as Rodney Wilton is just 1 second behind, the Cavan driver repeating his form from 2009. David Bogie drops a little on this loop, but he's just 2 seconds down to Wilton.
Steady enough run so far, fast but safe, so Daniel's on a fair pace there, so fair play to him, but we'll get through here and we'll hopefully up the pace tomorrow.
Manus Kelly has dropped from second to 5th, now 19 seconds behind Bogie, as worrying transmission noises are really annoying him and his co-driver Donald Barrett. They receive a little assistance from their rivals at the start of the second Malin stage. The rivalry is fierce amongst the modified men, but the sportsmanship is always there.
Oh, there's something wrong with the back of the gearbox, so we're trying to get it sorted here. I think Wesley knows what it is, so hopefully we get it sorted now.
Wesley Patterson now lies 2.4 seconds back from Manus. And Phil Collins is just 4.5 seconds back from Wesley in 7th, and somewhat staggered by the pace up front. Declan Boyle has been on the move and is now 8th, dicing with Camillus Bradley. Camillus is set to nip ahead of Declan here in Buncrana, and he's starting to feel better as the day progresses.
I've been very sick all week. Yesterday morning, actually at 10 o'clock, we decided we weren't going to the rally. And then went to the doctors, got some tablets and stuff, and it settled up, and said it would give it another few years, so we decided we'd come to the rally. Felt like rallying would rally, so that's what we're doing. But at the minute, the adrenaline's starting to take over, and I'm starting to enjoy it now.
Conor Curley holds a good 10th spot at this stage. He drops to 13th at Buncrana and sadly out of the event after the final test of the day.
60 to a square right.
Eugene Ferry is now 14th and pushing hard in the APD Property Developers Mark II Escort.
Middle over flat crest.
And now Martin McGee and co-driver Dennis O'Mahony take us on a high-speed tour of the Buncrana stage. Last week in 1981, when the Mark II Escort was in its heyday. The tail-out tin tops provide some great entertainment for the huge crowds on this new edition for 2010 by the Donegal Motor Club. As the crews head for the Letterkenny overnight halt, Manus Kelly and Donald Barrett survive to finish the day 5th, a minute off the lead. Scotsman David Bogie and co-driver Enda Sherry are 4th, 42 seconds off the national leader. That's just 2 seconds behind Rodney Wilton, who in turn is just 0.9 of a second behind his great rival Gary McPhillips. But the day belongs to Daniel McKenna, who commands a superb 39-second lead overnight. His stage time should put him in 6th place overall in the main rally.
National rally runners prepare for the big day, Saturday, which includes the awesome Fannet and Knockalla tests. Some rally legends are watching the action, like 60s works driver Rosemary Smith, many legends Paddy Hopkirk and Mervyn Johnson, and Desi McCartney. Daniel McKenna starts the day with a 39-second lead, but he drops time on the opening Carnhill and Fannet test, stopping for a second to check on Keith Cronin's off on Carnhill. He needs to keep the hammer down too, as there's a new second-place threat. David Bogie trims the lead right down to 18 seconds after the first Fannet stage, only for Daniel to pull it back to 24 seconds after the second run of Carnhill. Rodney Wilton and Conor McMahon in the Wilton Waster Mark II are now a fabulous third, and here in Fannet they're trying very hard and on the limits of their back tyres. After stage 9, Carnhill 2, Rodney is third, 51 seconds behind leader McKenna, 27 seconds behind the rapidly moving David Bogie. The cabin driver is the first of the escorts running the smaller 13-inch wheels. There's no doubt Rodney's not afraid to really let the tail hang out. The Fannet test has been reintroduced to the Topaz Donegal International this year. It's renowned for its fast-flowing sections. And this tight hairpin left, which Rodney gets just right. From the hairpin, it's onto some real fast-flowing stuff, where lines and gutsy driving bring rewards. Gary McPhillips is now 8.6 seconds behind Rodney after 9 stages, with the famous Knockalla test still to come. For Manus Kelly, the times are good, and his 5th place is just 3.9 seconds behind McPhillips. It's all to play for in this modified scrap for 3rd. Wesley Patterson has also upped the pace, and he's now 6th. Camillus Bradley is 16 seconds behind Wesley. Well, Declan Boyle has also climbed a few places to move into 8th, 20 seconds back from Camillus. Phil Collins and Stephen Macaulay are quick at their quick motorsport escort, but still find themselves 9th. Adrian Hetherington was 10th after the first 2 tests, and has to retire on Carnhill 2 after an incident which wasn't his fault. Eugene Ferry and Derek Hina are another crew on a charge. Adrian's demise sees them move from 11th to 10th overall. They twitch the tail of the 2.5 escort through Fannet, something not unfamiliar to Eugene, as he's driven Mark II escorts in this event for many years. Martin McGee is another driver enjoying these stages as he attacks Carnhill. The Cranford Stone Machine gets a little tail happy here. Martin is a little happier as he rebuilds his confidence. He's now 16th and glad to get through Fannet safely, where he had a huge accident last year.
And one right over crest, 150, down the middle. Long 4 left lead, don't cut. And right 40. Keep full 4 right, 3 left minus, through dip.
The eyes in the sky have plenty to focus on, as the race at the front of the National Rally is superb. But so are some of the battles amongst the classes as drivers and similarly matched machines fight for honours, as a Donegal International Class Trophy is a coveted prize on anyone's mantelpiece. Liam McMullen and John Cole dominate Class 1 in their Honda Civic. In Class 2, Darragh Leonard finishes 5.2 seconds behind the winner, Stephen Wright, who also clinches the Irish Fiesta Series. In Class 3B, Danny Gillespie is second, just 7.6 seconds behind JP Quigley and Emmett Kelly. In the National Rally class, James Green and Barry Garvey take Class 9 for the up to 1400cc cars. Patrick Bradley and Niall McDade claim Class 10 in their GSI Nova. And Arthur Kearns and James Cullenay are Class 12 winners, whilst David Carney and Ray Fitzpatrick take Class 16 in their C2R2 Max. Summer in Fannet, choppers in the sky and surfers in the sea, who are about to get an unexpected visitor. A Finn on the Donegal Rally? Not the first, but fortunately this time a basking one. Connor and John Waters complete the top 20 national runners as the rally results are declared after stage 10. Jeffrey Dolan and Conor Murphy are 19th and 3rd in Class 13 and provide a little variety in their 2-litre Sunbeam. Ballygawley's Vivian and Paul Hamill are 18th overall as they tackle the Knockalla stage. Class 11 winners and a fine 17th are Damien McCarthy and Stuart Hayes, and Stuart Darcy is second in Class 13.
3 left minus.
Martin McGee and Dennis O'Mahony are really enjoying the Fannet stages.
Right minus. And 6 left over press, don't cut, bump. 40.
15th place will be their award as they reacclimatise after this year's break. First in Class 13 are Samuel Kelso and Gareth Doherty. Paul Harris is 13th in his Mark II Escort debut, and Paul Barrett and John McElhenney claim 12th. Brian Brogan and Damien McGettigan take 11th position.
Eugene Ferry and Derek Heener in the Rally Image Escort. 10th place is a fine finish in this company. Their Millington engine really sings through Fannet.
And 5 right, don't cut. 5 right, don't cut. 40 to 4 right. 1 left, 60. 4 right. 1 left, go 60. 5 right, care. Double tightens over crest, remember?
Phil Collins is 48 seconds ahead in 9th, but first to credit the leaders.
We've come to Donegal to have a really good rally and a good competitive one. My God, have we got it. I think we're down in 9th place or something there. I've never seen so many boys driving so many good escorts so well. It's a fabulous experience to be involved in it.
Fabulous indeed. Declan and Brian Boyle are happy with their 8th place. A fine result. Camillus Bradley and Danny O'Neill ascend the Knockalla Hill. They'll be declared 7th place finishers, 16.4 seconds behind Wesley Patterson. Wesley has started to speed up, but still finishes 6th, 53 seconds behind the winner. Maybe the waiting game might not have worked in 2010.
Playing a waiting game?
Don't know about that. We're trying hard. Daniel's obviously still leading it. Or no, the young fellow in the Meadows leading it, David Bogie. But there's 4 of us there. There's about 15 seconds covering the 4 of us.
Amos Kelly and Donald Barrett are 5th and have the distinction of being the top Donegal crew in the national event. Gary McPhillips and Paul Sheridan is spectacular here on Fannet and end the event 4th, just 8.6 seconds behind the similar Mark II of Rodney Wilton.
Double caution, 2 right into 4 left in, tightens over crest.
Rodney and Conor McMahon have once again
6
shown
right
a great
past
turn of
pole.
speed in Donegal.
6 right past pole into cut 4
and
left,
really
continues
fill the
over
road
dip.
in this 6 right corner.
Into cut 5 right plus over crest and bump.
As for the daunting 100 miles an hour Will Hare's bend and Knockalla,
4 right in over crest.
Sideways stuff from the cabin men. Their reward is a fine 3rd place in what's been a very entertaining and committed drive in the Virginia Hare Escort.
Wall on the outside. 3 right continues into caution, 6 left. 60, 1 left continues. 1 left continues. And flat 2 right.
The race for the lead really comes alive, however, as David Bogie sets scorching times over the 2nd Fannet stage, 10 seconds faster than anyone else. Coupled with this, Daniel McKenna struggles through Fannet with a rear wheel puncture. So we have a new leader.
We got a puncture in the last stage, lost by 30 seconds. But we're about 5 seconds behind David Bogie now, so if we can keep a steady run for the rest of the evening, and as long as we're in touching distance tomorrow, I think we should be okay.
Going into Knockalla, David Bogie has a 5.5 second lead.
All good, it's all going well, pushing hard, and then the times are there, so no, happy enough.
And you've just got into the lead amongst the modifieds.
Yeah, only a 5.5 second lead, so it's not a great deal, so we'll need to keep on our toes now.
The Knockalla Coast Road has provided the signature stage for the Donegal event throughout its 40-year history. From Portsalon Beach, the road climbs to the cliff tops and sweeps through the high-speed corners parallel to the shores of Lough Swilly before turning inland into the tight and jumpy lanes of the Legland area. This is the stage that all rally drivers want in their CV, and the leader, Gareth McHale, knows from family history that there are many pitfalls. This time, however, he has no problems and comfortably records fastest time. The same cannot be said for Tim McNulty, who in his eagerness to close the gap between the Ford and the Subaru suffers 2 overshoots and loses a chunk of time to McHale the younger. Dara O'Riordan understandably looks a little bit more apprehensive. This is a very big stage when you've made the very big jump into World Rally cars.
Daniel McKenna heads into Knockalla on a mission. He's right on the edge through Will Hare's, but he takes just 2 seconds off Bogie's lead. However, the times are declared null and void after the tragic accident that happened on this stage. For Daniel, it's a second-place finish on an event where he once again showed great pace. Who knows what would have been the outcome if the rally had run over its 3 days. That doesn't take anything away from either driver's performance. It seems fitting that a Metro 6R4 wins the Donegal National event exactly 25 years after the late Tony Pont made the car's international debut here in 1985. It's third time lucky for young Scot David Bogie and the glorious V6 Metro.
Alan McHale clears the left-hander where his father Austin wrecked a Sierra Cosworth some years ago. And Seamus Leonard's spluttering Subaru can hardly carry him up to the top of the hill climb. But sadly, Knockalla will not be remembered in 2010 for its vistas, its spectacle or Gareth's fastest time. As in the early afternoon, car number 51, driven by Shane Buckley and co-driver Thomas Maguire, left the road, resulting in Thomas's death and severe injuries to the driver. The Donegal Motor Club, as a mark of respect to the Maguire and Buckley families, cancelled the remainder of the event. At a memorial service the following morning, Thomas is remembered by his many friends in rallying. For Gareth McHale, victory is now unimportant.
Very sombre day here now on the Sunday. Not one that you'd normally associate with Donegal here outside the front of the Mount Errigal. Very tragic weekend. Fortunately, Thomas lost his life and Shane is very ill in hospital, and I just want to say that our support is fully with them, with both families. We have deep sympathy, and it's hard to know what to do from here on. It's motorsport and there's a risk involved in motorsport, we all know that, and it's just it's an awful tragedy.
Happiness has gone out of the hills this weekend in Donegal due to the tragic accident involving Shane Buckley and Thomas Maguire. Those that take part in motorsport are acutely aware of the dangers, but when death and injury strike this friendly fraternity, it is devastating. RPM offer their sincere condolences to the families directly involved.